Today is August 22nd. The trade deadline is 19 minutes away, and you are watching Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com. We're presented by Munganess St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks of Missouri as we're riding the vibe here on Missouri Primary Day. As Rammer, I know you went out earlier to the polls and rocked the vote. Yeah.
Chris Gardner, who had for many years been part of the St. Louis sports media, now is trying to give back. And so he was on the Republican primary ballot today and proud to go vote for the smartest guy of the group, of a big group. It'll be interesting to see how the votes break down on election night as they go out, and will 7 or 8 people get votes? Will it still be the main two? It'll be interesting. And Chris Gardner, certainly, if any of the other politicians, not just the Senate candidates, but any other politicians paid any attention to his campaign videos, he should be hired immediately if they paid attention. The problem is with politicians across the board, local and national, they don't pay attention.
Does he get over 1,000 votes today?
Yes.
I can't wait to tune in to one of the news channels tonight and see how the primary votes break down. I can't believe I'm going to spend time watching that this evening. But hey, you know what? More action there than what we have in the for the Cardinals trade deadline so far, which is why you're tuning in and why you're watching this right now. Last year, I remember, Rammer, you and I were doing this show. It was the last day of July. And as we were counting down, they go and they trade for Jay Happ. They trade for John Lester in a last-minute move to trade for John Lester. And little did we know those two moves were going to be just enough to push them into postseason play last year and the arms that they needed to get there. Last night, the Cardinals did go out and they did make a move, which I think when you dig into it, was a very good move. I think, a move that health-wise, I think you could make an argument, maybe a safer move than going out there and trading for Montas, and you even gave up a lot less than what the Yankees gave up to get Montas, as they traded Johan Oviedo and Nunez from their from their minor league system. They go out and they trade for Jose Quintana and Chris Stratton, a relief pitcher. Quintana is going to be put right in that rotation, could be used this series against the Cubs. They could save him for this weekend against the Yankees. But regardless, the numbers he put up in Pittsburgh, imagine those on a Cardinal team this so far this year.
Well, Joe, he'll be, depending on how you want to rank it, he probably steps in as your number 3 starter. And if you could align it the way you wanted, you'd probably love to have a 3-game series with Michaelis, Quintana, and Wainwright. Break up the 2 righties with him in the middle. But having a guy that will take the ball every 5th day, a lefty, keeps the ball down, didn't walk too many. It was a pretty good move. Now, the other guy, Stratton, I see a lot of our colleagues in the media trying to pump him up. Oh, he's going to do whatever. Well, we'll see. To me, he pitches when you're losing. And, but those guys are valuable because if when you're losing a game, you can keep it close and your offense happens to come back, there's a real value to that. So I'm not denigrating him. I'm just saying, let's pump the brakes a little bit. It's another arm. We'll see.
I think you're hoping to get out of him what you hope to get out of Drew Verhagen this season. I think that's what it is. An arm out of the bullpen that will keep you in games, that will get you through games. You're not looking for crazy numbers out of him. He's just a guy in the bullpen that's not going to have a 7.8 ERA like Verhagen has this year. The reason we are not talking about Juan Soto being on the Cardinals is because earlier today, the Padres pulled off an 8-man deal, 6 for 2, as the Padres end up outbidding both the Dodgers and the Cardinals to win the prize of Juan Soto. Along with that, Josh Bell goes over to the Padres. And really, when you look at it more like a 9-man trade, when you break down all of the details that go in to what ended up happening in that deal, the Padres, as I mentioned, they get back Juan Soto and Josh Bell. In return for that, they give up C.J. Abrams, their top prospect, who's been playing almost all year because of the injury to Fernando Tatis Jr. They give up Mackenzie Gore. They give up multiple prospects, Robert Hassel III, Jarlin Susana, James Wood, all listed in there. And then the crazy part of the deal came when they wanted to trade Eric Hosmer to the Nationals. Eric Hosmer had the Nationals as one of the 10 teams listed that he could not be traded to. He said, no, I'm not going there. They said, fine, we're sending your ass to Boston. We're going to send Luke Voigt over to the Nationals instead. So they have really just changed their roster. Padres also went out and traded for Brandon Drury earlier too. So a lot of moves the Padres have made, but now they get 23-year-old Juan Soto to get into a lineup with Manny Machado and soon Fernando Tatis Jr.
So they added 3 bats. I presume Bell will go to first. Drury is your DH. And when Tatis comes back, obviously he goes to short and leads off. That's probably how it works. When Tatis is back, I think their lineup is stronger top to bottom than the Dodgers.
When he's back, yeah, that's a pretty stacked 2 through 6, 1 through 6, 1 through 7. When you look at Cronenworth leading off, and you just go down from there.
I don't think they'll do that. I think Tatis will lead off. I think you go Tatis, Soto, Machado, Bell, boom, 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 and you just keep going down the line. Cronenworth and Drury. Keep in mind, the Dodgers' bottom 3 and sometimes 4 are not hitting at all. And so that's not to denigrate the Dodgers or pump up the Padres. My point is the Padres are going to try and make a run, and they're going for it. And I think every fan in baseball appreciates what they've done, and I hope the Padres fans appreciate the front office that they have. They may not make it, but at least they try. You don't know the movie the old Jack Nicholson movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And there's a thing in there where he tries to do this nearly impossible thing to break out of the insane asylum. And he goes, at least I tried, God damn it. At least I did that. That is their mantra in the front office for the Padres. At least they tried. A lot of us and our fan bases can look around and go, wow, did our front office really try? You tell me.
Another pitcher just went off the board. Ken Rosenthal reporting less than 1 minute ago the Phillies are close to coming to terms with a deal to acquire Noah Syndergaard. So Noah Syndergaard. So Thor goes back to the NL East to the Phillies, which all that leaves now is Carlos Rodon. That's unless there is somebody else out there that I am not seeing that because maybe. And his name has not floated around anywhere, and I would have to think that if that happens, the Cardinal or the Diamondbacks are going to have to eat a lot of that salary. I believe it was 5 years, $100 million that he went to the Diamondbacks for, so that would make it $60 million left this year, or $50 million left, I guess, when you talk about half a year prorated. I would have to imagine the Diamondbacks are eating some of that, right?
Nobody's talked about him, and probably the contract does make everybody shy away. I get that. But just because our colleagues aren't reporting it doesn't mean there hasn't been a conversation. You're right. Probably not. But, we can hold out hope for another arm. It'd be great to have another lefty, especially a guy who knows how to win in big games.
Yeah. Red Sox, they're still having a fire sale along with the Baltimore Orioles. Nathan Eovaldi is out there. Rich Hill also being attached to the Cardinals, Phillies, and the Twins. I don't know if getting Syndergaard would knock the Phillies out of that, but the Cardinals and Twins They too are in the mix there. The Twins also just acquired reliever Michael Fulmer from the Tigers. A lot of interdivision trading going on prior to this trade deadline. So there's Rich Hill. It's
Yeah.
another lefty to add to the
He
rotation.
makes me feel about how we felt about. He makes me feel how we felt about Lester and Happ last year. I don't know if lightning can strike again. Not likely. Lee Trevino got hit a couple times, so maybe it can happen here.
I mean, you add Rich Hill, he becomes the second oldest player on your team. 42-year-old Rich Hill. He is 2 months younger than Albert Pujols.
If you got him on a given day, would you rather have him or Palante? I'd rather have Palante. Would you rather have him or Hudson? I know a lot of people are mad at Hudson right now. He's been hurt. I still would go with Hudson.
By the way, Phillies traded away Mickey Moniak and another prospect to the Angels for Noah Syndergaard. Former number 1 overall pick, Mickey Moniak, going to the Angels for Noah Syndergaard. That's 2016 number 1 overall pick. So 6 years removed. Life comes at you fast.
Yeah, I wonder if the Cardinals were even talking to the Angels about Syndergaard. We'd mentioned his name before. I'd love to have had him. He's not what he was when he was Thor with the Mets, but still a good pitcher. He's had some really nice outings this year for the Angels. What would you give up? I'd go even up for Liberatore, something like that, but obviously the Cardinals didn't. So
the Cardinals do have a lineup out for tonight's game, 6:45 start time against the Chicago Cubs in town. The Cardinals lineup will look like this. Dylan Carlson leads off in center field. Nolan Gorman DHing tonight, batting second. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Nolan Arenado is at third. Paul DeYoung is at short. So Nolan Paul back to back there in the lineup. Lars Nootbaar in right, Corey Dickerson in left, Yadier Molina is behind the plate, and Tommy Edman playing second and batting ninth with Adam Wainwright on the mound. Yadier Molina back behind the plate for start number 317 in their careers with each other, as Yadier Molina missed a whole lot of games and is now back in the Cardinals lineup. For the Cubs, their lineup looks like this, with Keegan Thompson on the mound. Rafael Ortega is in center field. Wilson Contreras DHing. Sia Suzuki is in right. Ian Happ in left. Nico Horner at short. Patrick Wisdom at third. Frank Schwindel is at first. Jan Gomes is behind the plate. And Zach McKinstry is at second base. So here we sit 6 minutes away from the trade deadline. Both Wilson Contreras and Ian Happ are both still Chicago Cubs. And one of the reasons for that, the rumor was that the Dodgers were going to go after Ian Happ if they lost out on Juan Soto. Instead, earlier today, the Dodgers went and traded for Joey Gallo from the Yankees.
What a mess.
I don't get that move at all. You're hoping to find some sort of lightning in a bottle with that.
At this point in their career, Happ is a far superior player. I'd like to have Happ on the Cardinals. I mean, and you talk about the Cardinal lineup tonight. You did not mention Brendan Donovan, I don't believe, or did you?
I did not know.
What? Why is
he has not played a whole lot lately? I don't know if there's an injury or what is happening there. That is, yeah,
he should be leading
that
off.
Has been very strange. Yeah. Cardinals just made a move, Rammer. Cardinals have just made a move. They have traded with the New York Yankees, acquiring left-handed relief pitcher Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery, a 29-year-old left-handed pitcher. He has started 21 games for the Yankees this year, 3-3 record. He has, I quickly looked up. This is on the fly reporting.
Yeah,
114 innings pitched on the year. He had 1.099 whip, strikeouts to walk ratio of 4.22 strike out 7.5 pitcher. No report yet on what is going back to the Yankees.
Well, he could end up in the rotation.
Oh, wow. Rammer. Harris.
You're breaking up, Joe. I think, folks, if you're still seeing me but not Joe.
Bader is going to the Rammer.
Harrison Bader to the Yankees. It sounds like Harrison Bader for the left-hander.
Yes.
And the fact
Harrison
that
Bader to the Yankees.
The fact that they would take a guy with a bad leg is interesting. It sounds like the guy the Cardinals are getting back could end up in the rotation. And it'll be interesting to see how they mix that up a little bit. So Flobro is gone. I'm okay with those deals. That's okay.
Yeah, thank you for sticking with me on that. Yeah, Harrison Bader goes to the Yankees. Jordan Montgomery is the return on that. So Harrison Bader goes back home to New York, and I don't know what the again. The Cardinals were unwilling to give up Dylan Carlson for Juan Soto and put him into the deal earlier today, and now you see why as they give up their other center fielder. Dylan Carlson is your center fielder of the future now with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Now, here's a guy that I haven't seen in person. I've only seen his numbers, and the Cardinals are going to publicly denigrate their own farm team players. But Alec Burleson is absolutely destroying AAA baseball. I love Lars Nootbaar. Dickerson is what he is. Now that we're through the trade deadline, we see what we have. Don't you need to give a kid with a big bat a look? I'm just throwing that out there as a question. The guy has nothing to prove at AAA based on the numbers I see. Now, somebody may tell you on the QT, hey, Joe, he can't hit a slider. I don't know. He's hitting everything else at AAA. We know what we're not getting from the other left-handed hitters. I don't know. I'm just curious. Are the best 26 guys on the roster? I think over the next week or two, we need to ask those questions.
Yeah, no, they are. I am.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I'm. You know what? I'm surprised that they. There must have been something they have seen recently with all these other outfielders, and we were talking about it yesterday. Where does Tommy Edman end up? Does he go to right field with some of these other second base, with Donovan, with Gorman now at second base, and Paul DeYoung back on this team? I think you saw what Dylan Carlson was capable of in center field, and now you said, okay, I think we can move on from that. And we, it was fun. He won a Gold Glove. He made a lot of great plays, but I think they have realized what the future of this outfield looks like, and it's another outfielder in a long line, a long history now. How many outfielders does this make that they have just traded away? You go back, Randall Grichuk, Stephen Piscotty, Harrison Bader now, that they get these outfielders coming through and they're trading them away. Yeah, they have they do a great job of developing these guys, and they have so many of them. You mentioned Burleson now in the minor leagues, and who knows what else they have down there, or they can develop or move to that outfield. That I guess they see that as a rotating door that they can just keep acquiring new assets for these guys.
The Cardinals don't necessarily owe us any explanations on who's hurt. I think it helps them to be more transparent. And I mentioned the Burleson question. There may be a legitimate answer, like he's not on the 40-man roster and we don't want to mess that up, and he could be in our future next year and take Dickerson's spot, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That could be. But I have not seen an explanation why Brendan Donovan is not in the lineup. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't know if I missed this earlier. Tyler Mahle, he goes to the Minnesota Twins. So
good. That's a good move for them.
Yeah,
and him.
So there we go. It is 5:00 Central, Rammer. We have reached the trade deadline. I imagine that we will get a few more moves coming in that the commissioner has, and the Royals have just traded Whit Merrifield. Don't know where.
Okay. He's
That's
traded.
all we know is that they have traded Whit Merrifield. Who knows? I mean, with the way the day's going, it's probably to the Padres.
Yeah, really. So the Cardinals have improved their rotation with one and maybe two arms. I made the analogy on radio today that it's like, hey, honey, we're doing really well. We're making good money. Let's go get the convertible Bentley. But then they think harder about it and instead go get, because now they got three kids, the Honda minivan and a BMW sedan. A nice car, two nice cars, more functional, more affordable. It's what you needed rather than the shiny object you wanted. So I can't say I'm thrilled with the two pitchers, but I think it's fair to say the rotation and the staff is better today than it was 36 hours ago.
Yeah.
Is it good enough? We'll see. Better. It'll yet to be determined how much.
All right, Rammer, when you and I meet again tomorrow, we will have – actually, no, when you and I meet again on Friday, we'll have a whole new roster. It's me and Rock the next 2 days. Best of luck with you and your surgery tomorrow as you go under the knife. We look forward to you being back and than ever coming up on Friday's show. So best of luck to you with that, Rammer, as we have – yeah, we have gone through another trade deadline show here on Daily Cards Live, presented by Mungenast St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks of Missouri.
Yeah, by the way, a quick aside, it is trade deadline, so tomorrow I'm trading in one old knee for one new knee. So that's the way that's going to work. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Of course, they started in St. Louis over 50 years ago, moved to St. Charles across the river in Granite, in Jerseyville, and now 3 locations in Northeast Missouri. All of them give you the service you expect and deserve, at Royal Banks of Missouri.
Whit Merrifield, by the way, goes to the Toronto Blue Jays. Whit Merrifield to the Toronto Blue Jays, which is kind of shocking. Because Rammer, he is not vaccinated.
Well, they need somebody to play on the road. You just look at the road trips. I'll see you on the road.
What?
And a vaccination to be named later.
So it's Merrifield and either Moderna or Pfizer going to the Blue Jays. Yeah. We're not sure what the return is on that. He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. Hey, if you haven't done so, I don't know when the polls close over in Missouri, but get out there, ride the vibe. C.W. Gardner for Missouri Senate. This has been Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com.
St. Louis Acura has almost 200 pre-owned vehicles in stock with inventory arriving daily and can offer the best trade-in value. While others raise their prices and fees, we choose to earn your repeat and referral business by not taking advantage of the current market situation. We invest in our team, becoming one of St. Louis's top places to work and fastest growing companies. St. Louis Acura remains committed to becoming better than ever for you. Located at Manchester and Mason Roads.